Good morning, all, and thank you for being with us on this post-President's weekend. I would like to right now convene our committee meeting for the Commerce Committee on this February 20th and ask if there are any comments from my colleagues. Representative Meskers.
I'll be brief. It continues to be my honor and pleasure to serve as co-chair of Commerce. You know, in summary, we'll be raising concepts today. The goal of the committee at all times is to raise the economic activity of the state. You know, a rising tide lifts all boats. It's important that we grow the state, provide the right structure and incentives to make that happen. And I think we've got a fairly robust list of concepts to raise today. I look forward to the hearing.
Thank you, sir. Representative Harrison.
Good morning. Equally, I would agree. Today's our day to raise concepts. I think I want to make sure that we're all aware that just because we agree to support a concept and have a public hearing on it doesn't mean that after we hear all that we may support it. So I think with that, we can move on. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. And Senator Martin, is he remotely with
Madam
us?
Chair.
Oh.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing the different ideas that people have proposed with these concepts. And, I agree with Representative Meskers about growing our state economy, how important that is. And that is our primary task as a committee here. And these concepts hopefully will contribute to that economic growth that we're all looking for. So thank you, Madam Chair.
And thank you, sir. So with that, I would first of all like to welcome to our committee this session our Assistant Clerk, Hassan Ismail. And Hassan hails from the University of Connecticut, a new grad. And I'd say, Hassan, you hit the right committee. Thanks for being with us. And so that would bring us on to item number 2, which is bills to be referred. And we do have one item, and that is HB 5015. It's not noted on the agenda, but it is 5015. It's an act concerning bonds of the state for expanding a certain parking garage in New London. This will be a referral to the Finance Committee, and I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
And is there a second?
Seconded.
And moved and seconded, is there discussion? And seeing none, and Madam Clerk, let me know if there's anybody remotely too. I would ask all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it, and the motion carries. Thank you. That will bring us on to agenda item 3. This is concepts to be raised. And as was noted by my colleagues, we have 24, and I'm just going to quickly give you a thumbnail on them as background for you all. So item number 1 is learn here, live here. And I think that's probably a familiar bill to all of us about building workforce, keeping our talented graduates in state. So we will hear this again this year. Item number 2 is an act concerning a study of the effect of background checks on the defense industry employment that comes to us from Senator Kelly, I believe. And it's something that we need to learn a little bit more about in terms of trying to meet workforce demands, in particularly in the defense industry. Item number 3 is an act establishing a task force to study feasibility of developing a multimodal transportation center in the towns of Stonington and Groton. This is familiar to this committee, as we heard last session that this area of the state is a tourist destination. They are experiencing a lot of growth as we are happy to support and the scaling. However, there are also the transportation issues. And that is item number 3. Item 4 is an act establishing the Connecticut Ireland Trade Commission. That comes to us. It's a bipartisan proposal from a lot of hearts. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to learning a lot more about that. And then we've got item number 5, a study of the ways to promote economic growth along the shoreline and the waterways of the state. And that's an interesting proposal that comes to us from our ranking House member of the Finance Committee. Item number 6 is the implementing changes recommended by the Department of Economic and Community Development. This is the perennial department bill. We will hear from the ECD, of course, on that. Item number 7 is an act concerning the State Historic Preservation Officer. That's our famous SHPO work group. Much time and talent has been devoted to this. Number 8 is also the product of last year's legislation from this committee, a work group that also devoted much time and energy and expertise on the subject of advanced manufacturing. Number 9 is the Global Entrepreneur in Residence program. We just recently had the presentation from that group, also a product of a previous bill from this committee and the following work of that working group. Item number 10 is the Department of Economic and Community Development bond funding. That is a conversation about the interplay between those two entities. Item number 11 is an act concerning manufacturing issues. As you know, we are kind of the cog in the wheel to the manufacturing caucus of the General Assembly. And so we try to always afford every opportunity in the event that we need to develop any further proposals from them. Item number 12 is the brownfield remediation. Typically, we receive a proposal from the brownfield working group, which is that group of professionals that have come together for at least the last 10 years to work on our brownfields program, part of which has made us nationally distinguished. And so while we have not received any proposal from them yet, I believe they are actually meeting today. Item number 13 is a study of workforce shortages and workforce development training. Last year, we recall that we had some conversations with OWS, Office of Workforce Strategy, to talk about the programs that have been launched to scale our workforce pain points. And so that is a conversation relative to that subject. Item 14 is an act concerning the Department of Economic and Community Development. That, at right now, is a placeholder. Item number 15 is an act concerning Connecticut Innovations Incorporated. That's CI. Likewise, a placeholder. Item number 16 is a study of issues affecting the biotechnological technology industry in the state. So we wanted to give the bio sector an opportunity to talk directly to the Commerce Committee about things that would help to support that sector. And particularly, the state has wisely invested a lot in bio. We've now almost got a hub, a nationally recognized hub in New Haven, and that title will speak to that subject. Item 17 is a study of economic development and small businesses. This was a proposal that came to us from our leadership team in commerce about making sure that small businesses are duly represented and prominent in our economic development. Item 18 is the Invest CT program, and that is a proposal that came to us from the House, as is number 19, an act concerning historic home rehabilitation tax credit program. Item 20 is familiar to this committee. That is the R&D expenses tax credit for pass-through entities. This, as we know, we've heard previously, speaks to the small entrepreneurs who cannot avail themselves to R&D, and they're usually the startups. Many of them are in the bio sector. Item 21 is the Child Care Incubator Program, and we have talked about this in this committee for some time, that childcare is an economic development concern. And there was an incubator program that was launched last year for childcare, and there was a request that there be a few amendments to that. Item 22 is the Community Economic Development Fund. And this is also a proposal that we have seen previously in this committee, and there has been some work done on it over the interim. And so we'll, take another look at that issue. Item 23 is the employment of certain minors. This speaks to, of course, workforce pain points and challenges. And item number 24, blame it on Pat. Okay, that's what that is. That's his bill. That's the legislator commissioner's bill. So anyhow, that is a list of 24 concepts to be raised. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to raise items 1 through 24. Yes. Okay, yes. And is there a second? Is that what you were going to do, Representative Vale? No, I'm teasing. Yes. Is there a second? Thank you, Rep. Cheeseman. And discussion. Yes, Representative Vale.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. We've been here before. It's just, there are placeholder bills. I personally, I don't like them because I feel a lot of times that we leave them in there so that if we forget to have a public testimony about something, we can add things after the fact. And that's the thing that concerns me the most. I know we're putting up for a public hearing. A lot of time it doesn't have language, so then no one really comes up and talks about it. It kind of is a safety net to catch things that might have slipped through the cracks. So I don't conventionally support that, as you know, but I will, we'll see. It's just a public hearing, so we'll see if anyone comes up and testify. I'll be more concerned after the fact if we add language to those placeholders that are things that we didn't really hear about in public testimony. So I'll support the concepts today, but I have concerns. Thanks.
Thank you, Representative Vale. And let me just kind of, tag team on to that conversation. I totally agree with you. And in this committee, we make every effort to put out content for the purposes of public hearings. Quite frankly, it's to our benefit in terms of, moving things forward or making those decisions going forward. However, many times the calendar is not our friend. And so, we try to walk the balance line between being nimble, productive, and getting our work done. I hear you though, and believe me, I do not disagree. Yes, further discussion. Seeing none, I would ask all those in favor to please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. And I thank you all. Our work is yet to begin. And so that brings us on to other, and just keep your calendar clear for Thursday because we have a few other calendar items for other. That would be a Thursday, probably a very quick meeting as well. And so we are going to stand in recess until just for attendance purposes. Okay, so we will recess, and the votes will, for the purposes of attendance, be opened until 2 o'clock. Yes.
And just if I'd ask the clerk, make sure to send out to all the committee members who have not just give them that advice that the attendance will be open till 2.